I've spent 12 years doing this, and prior to this I was in HR, as Cindy said. And we can really use our clothing as a piece of messaging. We heard about communication today. Well, the way that we put ourselves together is really an opportunity for us to be able to share a piece of ourselves with the world. Not only that, we can also communicate what our intentions are. We can earn trust quickly, and we can earn credibility quickly, simply by how we put ourselves together. Now, when I work with my clients, one of the most important things to my clients and to myself is it's rather than dressing up a package to be somebody you're not. I did that for a long time. I'm a Gen Xer as well. We had dress codes. There aren't dress codes anymore in most environments. Now it's really about being comfortable. Now it's about using judgment. And so back then when there were rules around it, we were dictated to. We had to look a certain way. Well, now aren't we fortunate that we have expression, that we have an opportunity to make these choices? So one of the first things that goes to the side in a business casual environment is what? Credibility, right? Credibility, because sometimes the choices that are made are not always potentially the best. So we're going to look at 8 ways to up-level your credibility instantly, all right? So, and I want to share with you as well, before we close out today, you're going to have an opportunity to see one of your colleagues. We went shopping on Monday, and we outfitted her. She works in an environment where she's in the office part of the time, and she's in a warehouse part of the time, and so we outfitted her. So we're going to just show you what we've done with her today. So let's move along, and we're going to want to have you guys just explore for a moment at your tables. So I'm not somebody who is just going to stand up here and talk, okay, for the next 30 minutes. I want you guys to have some interaction as well at your tables. So have a discussion around what is business casual. What's business casual to you? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to have that conversation. Okay. All right. Can you all hear me okay? Now I can step away. Thank God. Can't be tethered. That's just, kills me dead. All right. So I'd love to get some input from the tables. What is business casual? What was some of the discussion that you guys had? Pardon me? Okay. So you talked more about what it isn't. All right. Does anybody have a definition of what it is? A nice shirt with jeans, okay. What did you just say? I wouldn't think jeans at all. Michelle said, I wouldn't think jeans at all. What did you guys say it wasn't? It's not jeans, it's not running shoes. It's not Lululemon. Okay, that you have to change when you get home. Okay, all right, excellent. Anybody have anything else that was different in the room? Pardon me? Okay, all right. So there was some discussion around the specific garments and what's appropriate. Okay, interesting. So there's sort of different variations and different flavors depending on the specifics or depending on whether jeans are worn or whatever. Over here? Okay, beautiful. You know what? You are the closest, I would say, to what a specific definition is. Yes, this table over here. Ah. Absolutely. You nailed it. You nailed it. By Wikipedia definition, business casual is an ambiguously defined dress code. No wonder we're all having such a problem with it, right? It entails neat yet casual attire and is generally more casual than informal attire, like we heard over here, but more formal than casual or smart casual attire. But then we have to define what smart casual attire is and what casual attire is, and what the heck is formal attire, right? So it is no wonder that there's some confusion around what the heck business casual actually is. And you're exactly right, beautiful lady in the corner, that it is often dependent on your environment and on your position and on your industry. So regardless of, and often in the programs that I deliver, we go through and depending on the specific environment that I'm delivering the program to, we actually go through and we define what business casual is to that organization so that there's less ambiguity and there's more clarity around that and people are stepping it up. So for today's purpose, because everybody in the room comes from a different environment, different culture, we're going to be talking about specifics on ways that you can up-level your business casual, all right? So I want to invite you just to consider yourselves as a brand for a moment. Now, has everybody heard of the term personal brand? Okay, can I get some nods in the room? Okay, most of us have heard of that term, right? Personal brand. And when we think of personal brand, I'm going to ask you, what elements make up your personal brand? What elements make up your personal brand message? Pardon me? Your accessories, okay, all right. Anything else? Yes. Absolutely. So our packaging is part of our personal brand, but who we are, our personality, how we communicate, you said, right? I really like to think that our personal brand is about how we make other people feel in our presence or in our interaction. That's our personal brand, all right? What are some other elements that make up your personal brand? Consistency, thank you, fabulous. You know that ties directly into presentation? Without a doubt, okay, especially I've come from the HR world. I always called it the bait and switch. Any of you here in HR and do hiring? Anybody in the room? Okay. Have you ever had that situation where the person that you interviewed looks like $1 million and 2 weeks later after you've hired them, you're going, wait a second. I feel kind of ripped off. That's not who I hired, right? So consistency is a big deal. It communicates to the world when we show up consistently that you deliver a consistent product. You can rely on me, right? All right, fantastic. Attitude, right? Attitude also has something to do with it. Are you a positive person? Do you come to the table with solutions? Or are you a grumpy curmudgeon and that's what you're known for? So all of these elements make up our personal brand. So I want you to think of your personal brand in an entire whole. Today, because of our limited time together, we're going to be just drilling down on the packaging piece because that is certainly a piece of your personal brand. And you've probably all heard the advice, dress for the position that you want, not the position you've got, right? I've seen that over and over and over again in HR when doing consulting work and organizations looking at people within the company on who they're going to promote. If you don't look like a leader, if you don't look like, if they can't see you in that position already, you could be doing yourself a disservice. But when I look around the room, I said this actually to Noella, Cindy's executive assistant and right hand. I said, wow, these guys look sharp in here. You all look amazing, so just want to acknowledge that. Now, I said that we weren't going to do beer commercials, but I didn't say that we weren't going to do commercials at all. Does anybody know who this guy is? Pardon? Trivago, Mr. Trivago, exactly. All right, so what does his visual packaging tell you about his brand? Does it tell you anything? What's your impression? Sloppy. Whoa, it was like a chorus over here. All right, what else? What else? When you look at him, does it give you confidence to book through Trivago? No. I would say probably not. I think most of us are probably in the same boat, right? All right. Well, let's look at upgrade number 1. Do you remember when he was sporting this look? Do you guys remember that sort of transition? All right. And so what does this brand say? How does that differ from the image that you saw previously? Okay, Cindy says he looks more organized. Confident. Excellent. What else? This side of the room is very quiet. Pardon me? He looks happier like this? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other ideas or impressions? You trust him? I know there's some discussion going on over here. He's kind of much hotter here, isn't he? Much hotter. Yeah. Yes. So would you say that he looks more current? Does he earn your trust more quickly? Are you more likely to go, ooh, I kind of trust Trivago the brand and Mr. Trivago guy a little bit more maybe? Would you say? Yeah. Okay. All right. And then, of course, there was upgrade number 3. How does that change? How did your impression, so does your impression shift? It does again, doesn't it? So my point in having shown you these images is that same guy, different packaging, different messages, and different impressions left behind, different emotions from those of us who are on the outside looking in. A different brand is being presented all the way through. So we all have this incredible opportunity to be able to use our packaging to convey messages about who we are and about the quality of work that we perform, and I think who we are as people. Being true to ourselves is big. We don't have to wear suits anymore. Yay. That is so refreshing and so wonderful. But we do have an opportunity to influence through our packaging. All right, so I'm going to take you guys on a quick tour of some before and after images. And this lady, just a real quick before and after. Okay, so hairstyle change, makeup, a collared shirt. Okay, kind of interesting, a collared shirt or even a jacket actually creates more focus on the face. All right? It's something important to know when you are delivering an important message or you're holding a meeting. You know, all of these little tips and tricks that you can use to your advantage. Okay, again, another before and after. She certainly looks more professional in the image on the right. Okay, another before, hairstyle change, eyeglasses, a little bit of makeup. And I have a stat around makeup application, and it's actually a fairly dated study. But what that study says is that women who wear makeup earn 25% more than women who don't. Now, I don't know how current that is, but that was a study that was done. So just kind of interesting. And here's an example of how using color, all that's changed here is a shirt and a tie. That's it. That's all that's changed in this image. So simply changing color can create more energy in the look. It can create more youthfulness. And I think that's important as well. Important to know. We're in a job market now where it's more competitive. So these things come into play certainly. Okay? So he doesn't look as dull and conservative. He looks more vibrant and alive. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the 8 ways to up-level your impact or up-level your credibility in a business casual environment. First one, and I think probably the most important, and I see lots of evidence around it around the room, I always say wear a third piece. And a third piece is a blazer. It's a jacket. Could be a cardigan or a vest. In some situations, it could even be a scarf, okay? And that third piece elevates the level of formality and increases that credibility piece effortlessly, right? And coming from a style and sort of an image consulting perspective, I'm always about how do we flatter the body? How do we make you feel amazing in whatever you put on? And a jacket does that really, really well. Also, when you add sort of that practical piece, and we're looking at dollars and cents, if you have only jackets, or only tops or shirts and bottoms, you have one way to wear that, the top and the bottom, the top and the bottom. But add third pieces to your wardrobe, and you have now added so much more opportunity. You've stretched your budget, and you've just added more visual interest and credibility. Now, I mentioned cardigans being in that list. Now, I talk about aligning and refining your knits because cardigans are one of those things. Fabric comes into play. You can have a pair of dress pants, and if they're cotton, they're more casual. If they are, a wool blend, they're more formal. Same holds true with knits. Knits have different messages. A knit that's kind of chunky, and this goes for guys. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to just imagine this is a men's sweater for a moment, so just play along with me. But anything that's kind of more of a chunky knit gives more of a casual and earthy kind of vibe to whatever it is. So is that part of the message that you want to convey? If that's part of your brand, great. You're on purpose, and that's important, okay? But if you up-level or refine that knit so that it is smoother, it has a more formal kind of flavor, all right? Now, this could certainly be long, like this one. Okay, so the length doesn't necessarily make much of a difference, but it's that smooth knit gives a different kind of feeling. It is a more up-level or formal, refined kind of look. Does that make sense? All right, we see a lot of, not so much for guys, but certainly for women. We see lots of these sort of jersey knit kinds of cardigans. And I'm always really cautious with these. I had one of my clients use the word pedestrian with it. I'd never heard that word pedestrian used before. She said, yes, pedestrian. And it is pedestrian. Pedestrian is really kind of ordinary. So there's nothing distinctive about it. And they lose their shape in a hurry. And they can look schleppy in a hurry as well. So have a look through your closet. If you've got lots of these, really have a look at them. Are they all pilled? Are they sort of worn out of shape and stretched out of shape? Or are they still looking sharp? Because those goes downhill in a real hurry. Next up, number 3. We heard about accessories a little earlier. Accessories are a great way to pull focus to the face. They are a great way to add detail and interest and personality to your outfits. And not only that, when you use accessories, it's all about the details. So when we put ourselves together and we're paying attention to those details, we're telling the world, we're telling our employer, we're telling those around us that we pay attention to the details in what we produce, in the quality of our work, all right? And it's a really inexpensive way to update your wardrobe and add a little more fun. So always look to do that. Now, gentlemen, because there's so few accessory options for you, what you do wear, I know it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks. What's that? Socks. Love socks. Love socks. Great way to add some more personality. But because guys don't have as much option as women do, whatever they do wear gets noticed. So gentlemen, remember that. What you wear for accessories does get noticed, so really pay attention to the condition. You know, your belt, for example. Are the holes all worn out? Those are little details that are noticed. And don't wear white belts. All right, Michelle. Fantastic. Okay, number 4, find a great tailor. This is probably the biggest education I give women. Guys already know this, I think, because guys have tailors already in their stores. Women get the short end of the stick. We often don't have tailors in our stores unless we're shopping at a Blues or a Nordstrom or a high-end retailer. So when we pay attention and we get things that actually fit, you can spend a little less money on those pieces, but if you have them tailored to fit you, they look more expensive. They also, when they look sharp, they feel better. Right? Have you guys ever noticed that? I know we're talking, sometimes people think that clothing is superficial, but I think it's a whole lot more than that, because how we feel about this often influences how we feel about ourselves, right? We've all had those days where you feel, oh, I just look like heck, and that influences our confidence. So it goes a whole lot deeper than that. But tailoring makes a huge, huge difference, and you're going to see a little bit in a moment or two how what I recommend for the pieces that we have Michelle wear, and that is a couple of little bits of tailoring. Now for the guys, I know often in business casual environments, polo shirts are like they're the standard uniform, polo shirts and chinos. And so in terms of fit for everybody in the room, always make sure that your shoulder seam hits at the shoulder. You want definition through the waist, so you want to have it tailored often, not baggy, and you also don't want it to be a sausage casing, okay? So, and too tight. All right, so, and details come into play here as well. So you want to up-level your look and you're wearing simply a polo shirt and a pair of chinos. Make sure that you have a belt on, a leather belt on, and polishable shoes. Now, being in the warehouse environment, if you have to go there, of course you're going to have your steel-toe boots on, but they're going to be polished too. All right, dark denim. How many of you guys have a casual jeans day in your offices? Okay, most of you have a casual jeans day. Now, we've now seen the introduction of like really distressed denim, right? We probably, every single one of us in the room probably have a pair that are all ripped and holy, and those of another generation go, and you paid money for those, right? Yes, my dad asked me that, like, what? Did you buy those? Yes, absolutely, we do buy them. You have to wonder, though, if they are they suitable for your work environment? And if you do wear them, and if they are okay for your work environment, I recommend wearing a jacket, wearing a blazer, up-level that so that you're always making sure that you're in total credibility, especially with those less casual, or those more casual pieces. How many of you guys are allowed leggings within your offices? With a show of hands. Leggings worn in your offices, ladies? Any? No? Okay, I'm getting some. With a dress? Okay, so there's some stipulation around it. Okay, and do you see any faux pas? Do you see any things that are not appropriate? Is that a yes? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, that's fair. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm happy to help with that. I have to tell you, there's sort of a trend on when I'm brought into different environments, and I've been doing this for now long enough. And when the bottoms were really low cut and the tops were really short, I was brought in to deal with that and do sessions, group sessions. Now the group session is all around, can you make sure you talk about leggings somewhere in that content, right? So let's look at some images of what is appropriate and what isn't. So the image on the far left, the image on the far left is a no. If you can see The front part of the body and the bottom, your bum, that's a no. Okay, that's workout gear, right? Yeah. The next image that you see over, I've actually, there was a maybe on that. I have actually put a no on that. Why do you think I put a no on that, an X through that? Pardon? Because it's the sweater, okay? To me, it's really casual. It's really, really casual, and it is borderline coverage, too. There should be no question that there's coverage front and back, okay, regardless of your age. The next image is a yes, for sure, but I think it can be done a whole lot better than that. And I think especially because leggings are being worn, I always recommend, if you are wearing leggings, that is, for most environments, they just tolerate that. They don't love it. Okay, we all know that. They don't love that they're now being worn in the environment. Most people aren't thrilled with it, especially if you're a Gen Xer or more mature. So find ways to up-level that. Put a blazer on. Put a little structured blazer on. Totally changes the message. Now brings it up to being credible. I also, when I look at those images, I think they're kind of plain, and I'd love to see some accessories on there. Okay? All right, yes? That's a really good question. So the question was, is it appropriate to replace pantyhose with leggings? And in your environment, I'm gathering that pantyhose are still a must. Are they? Yeah, okay. I know in lots of work environments, pantyhose are now optional. I came from the day that I got, from the era where I got sent home when I had my first office job because I wasn't wearing pantyhose in the summer, I got sent home. And that didn't happen again. So I think for many environments that they are optional. With leggings, they're kind of a more casual kind of vibe, though. A pantyhose worn with a dress is elevated, depending on the shoe and depending on the dress. But let's say for wintertime, you've got a shorter little dress, you've got leggings, opaque, you can't see the leg, and a little boot. Great. And I would look to put a jacket on that just to elevate it just a bit more. Okay, Cindy? Pardon me? Tights, yes. Tights are the middle of the road choice. Absolutely. And just to be clear, leggings are footless. Okay, leggings are footless. Tights are like pantyhose, but you can't see through them. Okay. Gentlemen, if you didn't know this before, you can go home and dazzle your women with your new leg wear knowledge. All right, so yes, leggings thank you. Tights can absolutely be worn, but understand another thing. Tights are still more casual than pantyhose. They still have a more casual kind of message. All right, so it's about being really selective, knowing your audience, knowing where you're going, and knowing what your intended message is. So I always say this, a good rule of thumb is if you're wearing a garment that could be considered more casual, like cotton capri pants, like jeans, like leggings, always look for at least one more way that you can up-level that credibility. All right? And at least one more way. I'd say up-level everything else that you're wearing. Having come from the HR world when people were interviewing, I had one client once who he looked at the condition of people's shoes very first before he launched into the interview. And he made very, very snap evaluations that were inappropriate based on the condition of somebody's shoes. But this is just one more of those tiny little details that can up-level. Now, if you're wearing steel-toed boots, that's a whole different gig, okay? Whole different thing. And that certainly is, happens in your industry. Grooming for women and grooming for men. Of course, we're seeing lots of facial hair not for women, but for men right now. And this has been a big controversy. Okay, this has been lots of discussion around this. And so now, people are getting more specific around, okay, so what exactly is okay and not okay? So it's all about respect, and it's all about the details, just making sure things are sort of neat. Neat is the word. And then finally, that things are in good condition in its place. I have a video sometimes that I show, and it is, some of you may remember, it's the commercial, the Tide pen commercial, where the stain, young man was sitting in front of an interviewer, and the stain is front and center on the front of his suit. And all the interviewer could hear was, rah, 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 and the stain was talking back, and the interviewer just, he couldn't wrap his mind around it because he was so focused in on the stain. So, of course, just all the little details in their place, and that tells the world that we pay attention to the details, that we care, and it is all about maintaining that credibility. So let's move along to our fabulous model. Before we go there, on your tables, there is some information. There is a little sign, invitation actually. Looks like this. Okay, they're in the center of the tables. This is an invitation for you to sign up, and this is more feminine geared, gentlemen, just so you know. So it's 8 effortless action steps to be instantly more put together, confident, and more stylish without spending a small fortune. So you are welcome to sign up for that, and I'll send that guide to you. It is not about what we talked about today, okay? There are other pieces in there. They're great little tips, so I invite you to sign up for that. And then finally, I want to introduce my model, Michelle, in just a moment. So this is Michelle before, and this, and Michelle has been promoted within the last year. Yep, promoted into an assistant GM role. Yes. So Michelle is now between office and warehouse on a regular basis. And what you see on the screen is Michelle's uniform. She said she is a confessed blackaholic. She has black tops and black bottoms, and black tops and black bottoms. And she has more black tops and black bottoms. And so we wanted just to give her a little bit of a visual upgrade, but I also wanted to make sure that we're honoring who she is. So she has kind of, forgive my French, kind of a kick-ass vibe. She likes things kind of edgy. She doesn't want anything too girly. And so I wanted to honor that. I also wanted to honor her love for dark neutrals. So I kept her in the black bottom because that's a staple for her. You can wear jeans to the office on Friday and Saturday. Right. Okay. And normally during the week, you wear black dress pants. Okay. Those black dress pants. You said you...
in every style that they have.
So you have 7 pair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fabulous. So I've simply chosen a number of different jackets, actually, just to change up the message of her look, and then I'm going to accessorize her right here, right now, if that's okay with you guys. So it's all about the little details, and I mentioned that before. So I chose this. See how that just changes things? It just makes it so much more interesting. And I stuck with sort of that moto style, and we did all of this at Winners within an hour. Okay, all of it at Winners within an hour. So because I also wanted to demonstrate that things can be affordable. You can look great, and you can do it on a shoestring. It's just about knowing what works for you. So if Michelle was to keep this jacket, I would actually, I'm going to have you stand right at the front. Awesome. I would actually have this tailored for her, and I would have it tailored under the arm and shaped, okay, shaped just like that, so that it's curved just a little bit more. She doesn't wear her jackets done up. Then it's more shapely, it's more flattering, and we've added that extra sort of credibility, that extra structure through this fabulous shadow stripe jacket. I think it's awesome. What do you guys think? Okay. Now Michelle has a super busy life. She's got 2 younger children, and you are up at 4:30 a.m. You are out the door. She's at work all day, and then she goes to functions, takes her kids to extracurricular activities after work. So she wanted things that were easy. And so I wanted to keep the core the same, so keep that sort of a uniform almost for her, and just change up the jackets to change up the flavor of her look. So I'll have you remove that.
You need to tell them what this does.
Oh, okay, I can do that. So I'm a big fan of either having sleeves hemmed to a bracelet length or rolling up the sleeve. And the reason for that, first of all, it removes about 7 pounds per side, okay, visually. And I'll show you, I can show you that in just a moment. The other thing it does is it gives the, and the guys are back there. Well, maybe not so much with you guys. This is girls only right now, the girls only part of the program. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay, so 7 pounds aside. The other thing is it sends a message of, I am totally approachable. You can come into my office. I'm warm, inviting, and I get down to work, all right? So we're just going to roll these down. The nice thing about these sleeves is that they're already quite narrow and flattering. And I'm going to have you stand right at the front again. So have a look at what happens now that the sleeves are down. Okay, can you see that? And now here. But if we roll up those sleeves, now the eye does not have to travel. When you look at her body, when I roll those sleeves up, your eye doesn't have to travel from the outside of the arm to the outside of the arm. It's now going to travel from this side of her body to the other side of her body. All right? Just like that.
And it change room with me doing this the other day.
It's just a little bit more of a flattering kind of look. Okay? Do you see that? Just really subtle, but it makes a significant difference. The next look that we're going to do is slightly downgraded. Slightly downgraded, so a little more casual. What makes this casual, a little more casual, is the fabric. So it's a linen blend. Linen tends to look more casual anyways. The other thing is, although it's structured, it's less structured than the one that she just had on. And these are great because they have a little tab here that we can do this. All right. Fantastic. And Michelle would be even able to replace this jacket, or the jacket she had on with this one, to go to an after-work kind of function, too. All right, and still look totally put together. But that's what a jacket does for you. It changes the message, and it still has you looking put together. Let's take it.
My mom.
Okay, we're going to change this up one more time. We're going to make it just a little bit more casual. We'll have you take that necklace off. We'll put on the other one. So we wanted to honor Michelle's biker chick. All right. So we chose this piece for her.
Okay. This was the most expensive thing that I bought on Monday.
All right. So less structure, but it still looks elevated. It still looks totally put together. And is this something that you would feel most comfortable in, probably more in alignment with your current style?
I'm not seeing myself in a mirror, but on Monday, yes, because it was one solid color, it made me feel most comfortable.
Okay,
absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
And the cardigan versus the jacket, the structured jacket?
More comfortable, more, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, fantastic. Great. And last jacket, and the most formal of all of them. I'll have you take it. Yeah, we'll change out our jewelry this time, one more time. So we're going to do this. And in terms of figure flattery as well for guys and for the ladies, a jacket is a wonderful camouflager. It makes us appear taller and thinner. And this little devil here. And again, we wanted to honor her rock and roll gal. So we did this. So super, super simple shifts in your third piece can make all the difference. Yeah. Awesome. What do you guys think of that jacket? Sharp, hey? Yes, let's give her a hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it.
So there you are. That's the first point in the presentation brought back all the way around. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
So your third piece is your friend. I hope you guys are inspired to maybe check out your closet and see what you've got for third pieces tomorrow morning, and step up your credibility and have fun with what you've already got. So that's a wrap, folks. Thank you very much.